What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Just Win. We appreciate you guys being a part of our family, our podcast family. And here at Just Win, we like to focus on not only what you guys like, the celebrity, but the everyday people, because everyday people is what really make the world move. And sometimes you're able to get famous, sometimes you're able to build a platform. You still come back to being everyday people. And today's episode is super exciting because he's my friend, he's my brother, he's a business partner, he's one of the most interesting men in LA, if not the whole world. We got my brother Jamil Hardwick.
What's up, brother?
What's good? And no, he's not his brother, just so you know. And Jamil, one of the number one question I get is, what does Jamil do? You're like the Tommy of LA.
Right.
How would you kind of even want to start to like describe who you are? Because you kill the room. You leave an impact on people. And then maybe the next day I'll get a text message like, yo, what does Jamil do?
Right. That's funny. That's real funny. Ironically, my uncle, who was raised with us as our brother, gave me the nickname 007 as a kid. So I guess this has kind of been something that's been going on for a long time. He gave me the name. They just call me 00 now, my whole family.
That's crazy.
And it's because he said I was so mysterious. Like I always had stuff going on, but you never knew what I was thinking or doing. So it's kind of stuck with me, and I guess it still resonates now.
Of course.
Yeah, but my background is, my world's kind of organically intertwined.
Yeah.
So I have an athletic background.
Yep.
Played basketball at University of Georgia in college. Had a short stint overseas. Decided on my contract year that God blessed me with some other opportunities.
Right.
And I felt like if I did not, seek them out or take advantage of them, I would kind of be giving him a slap in the face for the other abilities and gifts that, he blessed me with. So made that decision, which was tough, to leave something that I passionately love for so long.
Yeah.
Always had an entrepreneur spirit, like owned valet parking as a teenager. That was one of the first, I guess, business ownership type of things that I did. I, by happenstance, started working in music. Was working as an intern for a big manager who happened to be president of a publishing company. I kind of graduated to writing for some artists. This is all between still being in school.
Right.
I went back and got my degree from Morehouse between playing overseas.
See, people wouldn't even know that.
Yeah.
But even that, most people, they lead with what they do versus leading who they are.
Right.
And it's amazing because when you're leading with who you are as an individual, everybody leaves the question of like, well, what does he do?
Right.
And I think that is a secret sauce. Mm-hmm. That's crazy because most people wouldn't even know that you went to college, you played college basketball, you're a college graduate, you intern, you started at the bottom.
Yep.
So it's like you're a man of many hats, but you are a master of people. Mm-hmm. How does that work? Like,
it's just really taking advantage of opportunities. My dad used to get the liquor licenses for clubs in Atlanta, right? So I used to work in these clubs. So I met all of the celebrities and athletes as a teenager working and found ways that I could creatively be an asset. So as you start meeting other people that own clubs and this kind of thing, hey, I can help you get a liquor license, right? But if I get you the liquor license through my pops, you have to give me the license for the valet. So it was always just kind of thinking out of the box. That started at a young age. In the music realm, I was going into these meetings trying to get the songs placed. not knowing the politics of the business, which probably would have never gotten my songs placed,
right.
you know, versus a B. Cox and JD and those people at that time. But I made some great relationships. And unbeknownst to me, I was in these meetings trying to get the songs placed, and the higher-ups were like, dude, he has a gift.
Yeah.
So they approached me about managing some of these artists and in-house producers. And that's kind of what started my management journey. Had some success locally in that with some artists and pushing them. My brother was pursuing his acting career out in L.A.
Shout out to Amari.
Yeah, shout out to Amari.
Did he get the Grammy?
He did not get the Grammy, but he's Grammy nominated. He has a movie out, Section 31, the newest Star Trek that he stars in right now, and a lot of things on the way. But I would come out pretty much every summer just to get out of my environment, work out, basketball, stuff like that. And I was a sponge to everything he was doing as far as being on sets. So I knew I ultimately wanted to make the transition to television and film. And he was the first person to ultimately give me an opportunity. And I started working with him as a manager. His career started to accelerate, which, you know, other actors and peers started to seek representation. And that's kind of where my lift off came in management. I've managed Michael B. Jordan, Alan Payne, a list of other people.
Wow.
Yeah, and within that space, you know, just started doing some other things.
For me, because I know you, I love how you have genuine relationships with people when we walk in a room.
Right.
I've never not been, over a decade plus, been anywhere that you and I didn't know someone or couldn't move in an environment. To me, that's a gift. To every time I'm with you, no matter the financial status, no matter their celebrity, don't matter their athlete, it doesn't matter. They say, hi, Jamil. And you have a relationship with these people at this level. Is that a gift, or is that something that, you know, you naturally do without even knowing you're doing it, curating these great relationships and keeping them long term?
It's probably a culmination of all. I think that I was raised around strong men, that were very secure in who they were, and I think I've taken on that attribute. So it's just really being genuine and treating everyone, no matter if you're the biggest celebrity in the world or, you know, a janitor, with certain level of respect and consideration. And I think that's kind of taken me a long way, because a lot of people who I met on their rise up, you know, ended up being the CEOs and having their own companies and brands, and they didn't remember how I treated them on the way up. So I think it just really comes from a strong foundation and being secure in who I am, right? So if I can speak to someone, make them smile, make them feel special, whoever it is, you know, it kind of, the gift of life kind of returns that favor ultimately.
So mentally, how do you prepare for your days to have that type of impact on people?
Some of it is just, you know, like I said, it's natural. I know that I prepare each night before the day. So I write out kind of a checklist of what I want to accomplish, you know, personally.
Right.
When I want to accomplish career-wise, all of these different things. I don't just write out what I want to do as far as my profession. Right. I write out what I personally want to attack as far as growth, development, whatever that is, certain changes that I want to make in my life, and I go about it that next day. Sometimes I need to look at it,
right?
But I like to check it at the end of the day to see if I accomplished those things. You know, I think kind of approach life not with the dreamer's mentality, but more as a visionary,
right? And
then try to execute.
You're an executor.
Yeah, on the vision.
You're an executor. Even with the brand you got on. Shout out to Lanny.
Yep. Shout out to Lanny
Black,
Smith.
Actively black.
Yep.
Like, walk me through that journey. So that's relationships. You understanding marketing and branding, like walk me through you being in the role that you are in with Active Black, and how did all that take place?
Again, it was just, I think it was kind of timing and alignment. I was working with Nick Duvernay. Shout out to Nick, who's Ava DuVernay, the legendary director's brother. He was producing the AFCA Awards, the African Film Critics Awards, and I was helping him and working with him on that. And, I had a conversation with him, and most of the sponsors were these big HBOs and the Disneys, but it wasn't a lot of Black-owned brands, which didn't
for Black film,
right? Which didn't make sense to me. So I cold called all of the top 100 Black-owned brands on Forbes list.
You called them?
Every single company.
Okay.
So over 2 weeks, went through each company. Some I was able to talk to. Some I got to run around.
Right.
As far as, going through secretaries and 3 assistants to get to the person, that kind of thing. At that time, Active Faith, which is the first line that I worked with Lanny, was number 13 on the fastest growing Black-owned companies, but was like number 47th at that time. I think they were valued at $13 million in like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
So I called Active Faith and got a return call immediately, and it was Lanny on the line, but I didn't know it at the time.
Right.
And I was in disbelief based on dealing with all these other companies.
That he actually reached
back out. And he said, no, I do this, I do this out of my garage. And I was in disbelief of where this company was leveled at that time. And this guy called me back and was doing this, basically putting his blood, sweat, and tears into something like that. We spoke for 2.5 hours, our first conversation ever. He wired me $5,000. As soon as I got off the phone, I had never met him before, never seen him. And then sent a box of clothes packages to give each person leaving the awards. And, he flew out. He saw what I did with it and how I curated his product in association with the awards, but also additionally at the after party. And we've been locked in since. So when Actively Black was something that conceptually he thought of, based on some experience that he had, which would have changed the trajectory of Active Faith, which now I was locked in and working with him on consistently. Right. He was like, I need you. And I said, you got me. So that's kind of how we started Actively Black. And, it's continuously grown. So shout out to Bianca and Lanny and everything, we're doing with the brand.
And Lanny's from the city. He's from Houston. He's from Texas. I've been to that. He had a garage. It was a storage unit.
Yep.
And I actually had started putting my athletes in it. This was like maybe 2013. Mm-hmm. And he just because I knew Lanny from hooping. Yep. And he got Steph involved. I got a photo of me and Jimmy Butler.
Yep. I think I've seen
that. On the University of Houston. Yeah. We had worked out at U of H, and we both had our Active Faith on. Mm-hmm. And so I've always supported him.
Yeah.
And I've always supported his movement and the hard work. And it shows that being an athlete helps you with work ethic, commitment level, the ability to endure hard times, tough times.
Absolutely.
Because he built it in a storage unit. Hey, pull up at the storage. Mm-hmm. And then now to see him, I seen him the other day at one of our events, and to see where he is now putting on, you guys put on big events in New York for Fashion Week, to remember almost a decade ago where he was just trying to get it on people in the city. Mm-hmm. And we were repping the brand, and we supported him in his business. And to this day, he sends me packages, unannounced, of the full brand gear for the whole year. Mm. And he's always been an unbelievable individual. And so I'm excited for him, but most people don't know your business ties with that, and that you're invested as a partner, and you're a part of that company. And I find it even more interesting the more events I go to when people ask the question, well, what exactly does Jamil do? And I'm thinking in my head like, well, he's mastered people. He understands business management, and he does things at an executional level that's very high. And I start thinking about like Health House, your relationship with Sports Rehab LA, and both of those companies are performance related and dealing with athletes. And so let's kind of talk a little bit about how you got into partnership and you work with rehabilitation places that help athletes, and how you brought me in to bring athletes around, because this goes back to like, what do you actually do? Right.
Obviously the ties have always been still to athletics. It is something that's unavoidable. It's in my DNA. It's in my, it's a part of my fabric. But I met Dr. Pat through another doctor, actually. We immediately connected, but this doctor spoke highly of me and said that you guys are going to click and connect business-wise, just based on the doctor and I's relationship and what he organically felt knowing both of us separately.
Right.
And that's kind of absolutely what happened. So I started working with Dr. Pat and helping on the marketing side, bringing athletes to him, which in turn also bringing agents who ended up growing in their careers. So now they became heads of some of these agencies and divisions. So it's kind of been an organic development and growth through that. And we ultimately became business partners. So I brought him some opportunities as well. And Health House was something that came across my table from a call from actually Stephanie, who was...
Seen Stephanie this weekend.
Yep. Stephanie was working at... still working with Nike.
Yep.
At the time, and doing some things in grassroots and the Jordan connection as well. And Stephanie approached me knowing that I had so many ties in the business and sports world, and with the opportunity to get in early on this investment and bring some people in. And when I saw the concept for Health House, I fell in love with it.
Yeah, you took me right away.
I was like, this is something that I want to invest in.
Right.
So Dr. Pat and I invested in that company. We have some other stuff that we're doing. But ultimately, what I really wanted to invest in were companies that created impact. I don't think there's a shelf life on impact.
Right.
I think it's more sustainable. And ultimately, the money's going to come because you're impacting lives.
Absolutely.
So that's the way I approach investment. If I don't think that it's going to have some kind of impactful effect on people, then I say no to it, and I get opportunities all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
But that says to you're a testament to who you are as a character, as loving people, impacting people. Yeah, I mean, bro, you just don't meet a lot of people that can move a room. You had that Friday night thing where you brought in all the live bands. Sayres.
Right.
And I think I went to Sayre for like 6-7 years straight, but it wasn't just a night that you curated and put together. It was a night to showcase new and upcoming artists. It was a night that I walk in there, it could be any and every body in there. Actors, athletes, songwriters, producers. I mean, I was blown away with every time I went to Sayre's, how you brought together people and was able to showcase the talent of other people. And that, to me, people don't know. And I always want people to know, like, when they ask me the question, I'm like, man, if you need an event or you need to bring people together, Jamil's the guy to hire. Pay him for what he does naturally.
Right.
And Sayre's was dope.
Yeah, Sayre's was legendary.
Did I kind of hit? Tell a little bit about Sayre's. So for people that don't know about Sayre's Club.
Sayre's was kind of, me coming from the East Coast and growing up in Atlanta, spending time in New York. I was somebody who grew up around different than the LA nightlife. We had lounges, we had live music spots, we had all of these different range of things for our community and culture, right? And I felt like that was missing here. I felt like everything I would go to was the same.
Right.
Same promoters. I was seeing the same people. And now you're alienating a whole demographic based on age.
Yeah.
Maybe race, whatever it may be. And again, just thinking out of the box, like how can I create something that's different than all the stuff going on out here? And the first thing that I did was a R&B night before R&B nights were even happening in LA at this place called The Room, which became really popular. And based on the success of that, was able to get in with Sayre's in its pre-development stage before it was built out, when they were building a live music spot. And had ties to the music world because of my background and friends who work in that particular space. But again, not just I've never been someone that allowed anybody to put limitations on me.
Right.
Like I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm not monolithic. I think I can do a bunch of things while not being distracted or losing focus in another area, as long as you manage your time wisely.
Right.
So Sayre's was I didn't have any bottle host.
No.
I didn't have any other promoters. Originally we did, but ultimately it was just me by myself after a few years. And I felt like if I can do it all, then it's going to be my vision. It's going to be the room I want to create, and I don't have to deal with too many hands in the pot. So it was a place where I wanted, a 23-year-old to be comfortable sitting next to a 55-year-old,
right,
and still everybody having a good time.
We need that right now.
Yeah,
we actually,
yeah.
I know, so we need that.
It was intentionality behind how I curated it. I never announced the artist unless the management or the label wanted them announced.
Yeah, some dope artists, bro.
Yeah, so it was that element of surprise which kept people excited. A lot of artists
that before they got on, they was on that stage.
I had some big,
talented,
some big artists. So it was, we went from 2011 all the way to 2010, 2011 to COVID.
Right, to COVID. If it weren't for COVID, it probably would have still been, because it was that type of night.
Yeah.
And when you look at that, and I live for moments. I'm a person that love moments, not just everyday thing. It's like, oh, I can make that a great moment.
Right.
And I've had some great moments with you. And now they have this new restaurant, new private membership place that, you were on my line about. I'm in many group chats with it, but you're like, bro, this is a spot, and it's Gravitas. It's in Beverly Hills. And now being Gravitas, being the spot, and you being in partnership there, you've already brought in a comedy night.
Right.
And I mean, the comedy night was fire.
Right.
Fire.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that comedy.
Shout out to Chris Spencer.
We seen Chris last night.
Yeah, who's a great
Harvard Westlake.
Great friend of mine, but a legendary comedian and writer in television and film. Has written for the Emmys, Golden Globes, all that kind of stuff as well. Highly, highly respected in the comedic world as well. So when I met with the owner of Gravitas, I didn't come in spilling my resume and all of that kind of stuff. He said that a lot of people had referred me. So I basically asked him, what is it that you need?
Right. That's a different look.
And let me execute on whatever that is. And he, I guess, was used to people coming in doing the opposite. So I'm more of a show and prove person, and I knew he likely was if he's a self-made billionaire. Right. So he told me what those things were, and I just kind of got to work and, came up with some other ideas about what I thought could help benefit, the build out and the membership.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place, and a special environment and staff, which helps. But he kind of was like, the answer is yes, and we'll figure it out.
I love that.
So I worked for free for months, just executing on the things that I told him I would do before I was even paid.
Most people don't. I was talking about that on another episode of understanding your value. So you can make a choice to give your time in regards to any situation and be compensated in other ways because it's beneficial for both parties.
Absolutely.
But that's not always the opportunity. You should be compensated properly for your expertise.
Right.
But just to hear that sacrifice, and we're on something about mental fitness and you have to be mentally intact to purposefully give your time to a place that you want to be and then to be compensated for it later. Mm-hmm. Walk me through, how do you prepare your brain for that and to endure that part of the journey before you get the fruits of the labor?
Well, that's the luxury of being able to have my hands in a few things that have obtained some success, right?
Right.
So now I have the leverage to move with intentionality and purpose. So I'm not leaning on you for anything. I'm going to show you that you need me, not that I need you.
Right.
And in doing that, I think it creates leverage.
Right.
Right. So if you do the things and execute on the things, most people out here are talkers. They're not doers.
Right.
So I know that people are used to hearing. So if I can show and prove my value and worth, then when I come to the table, there's leverage behind that.
That's an old school mentality. That's more my mentality too. Let me show you what I can do, right, versus telling you.
Yeah.
But most people with even social media, and social media is a great platform, but you could show the world what you think they should see. And actually, there's no execution behind it. You can't bring together people. They don't show up for you.
Right.
And so that's why, that's a big thing. It goes
back to the sports world too. Like,
yeah,
we didn't grow up with social media. So anything that we had, like, I was on an AAU team that won national championships. Right. I was on a high school basketball team that had 13 Division I basketball players. So we always had to work for what we wanted.
Right.
You had to earn it. I grew up in a house with, 4 or 5 brothers and sisters, so everything that I've ever, that's the way I approach things.
Right.
Let me get after it and show you.
Then we can circle back and negotiate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And before we even change subject, if you need a membership at Gravitas, because it is a dope event. They held the Grammys. We just went to the Grammy party the other day, which was super dope. Busta Rhymes performed.
Yes.
Food was amazing.
Yep.
You need membership. You need host parties. You need those things. Jamil is the guy to call. And it's right in Beverly Hills, so So that way, you guys are always looking for the new place to go. It's Gravitas.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got to go through Jamil.
Yeah.
Just so you know that.
Yeah.
So what do you have going now? You got your Gravitas.
I have Gravitas.
I seen you talking about you was on the movies, music video set the other day. Yeah, just
executive produced a new music video produced by Pharrell.
Yep.
Directed by Taj Stansberry, for an artist at Atlantic named Amanda Reefer, who's incredible. So that should be coming out soon. The album's coming out.
Should be dropping.
Yep, March, April. But this is one of the first singles from the album. Just got asked to executive produce potentially a song for Burna Boy, a video.
Yeah.
Producing a series called Eris.
Okay.
Which we are now in a little bidding war with some studios, a strong assembled team. Enid Clemens, Anthony Hemingway, June Ambrose, Mark and Dorothy Cannon are involved, and myself on the producer side. So excited about that. Carmen Murray who is the owner of Title IX, is a business partner, and you know,
she's trying to make some things happen.
Yeah, so we're business partners across the board and have some exciting things going on. Obviously, Actively Black is doing exceptionally well. We have 8 different collabs that come out this month for Black History Month. So it's going to be an exciting year for us.
Is that Letterman jacket?
Yep.
That's one of them?
Yep, this is all Actively Black.
So cold.
Yeah, we have some exciting things going on. Health House, we actually merged with Polari, which is a company that their emphasis is building environmentally safe homes. So we're actually building health houses.
Oh, wow.
You know, so we added the, you know, health and wellness element, but we're doing Palm Springs, Ojai, Joshua Tree. So it's a lot of exciting things, you know, going on.
And what I love about you in the wellness space, and I know we spoke off camera, I won't disclose too much, but I'm opening a wellness center. You got cold tubs, infrared, you got the red beds that you can lay in, anything that has to do with recovery, health, or being able to prevent, you know, taking care of your body. Definitely you're going to be one of my guys on the board. You're going to be one of my guys that are building our membership because I've seen you do it.
Yeah, you know you got me.
Yeah, I've seen you bring it and show out. And, you know, a lot of people don't produce. It's like in a professional sport, you're not going to cheer on an athlete that ain't producing. And so, you know, in an everyday life, you're not going to cheer on somebody that's not producing. You either got to help them produce more, or you put them around people that are producing. Right. And you're producing at a high level on a daily basis, and you're doing your thing, being my brother. And I want everybody to know he's not Tommy Alpha Martin. He's not Tommy Alpha Martin. No, and, man, you know, Jamil could be the most mysterious man out there. And when he leaves the room, he always leaves the room with an impact, and people always got to ask, what does he do? So now in our series today, in the Just Win episode, you get a chance to look at a former athlete, a former student athlete that's a father now, a business mogul, and able to build everything through proving himself, which is mental resilience, is mental toughness, is mental fitness. You're not able to get up and do what you do every day because without having those 3 categories, because you fail so much.
Right.
We fail.
For sure.
All day long.
Yep.
And with our podcast, I want to focus more on the adversity, the everyday adversity, the failure, the things that people don't want to talk about is not glorified, because this is where people actually can see growth. And so, well, I don't know what you want to leave with the audience and everything like that.
No, I just want to say that, you know, the saying, you are the company you keep, is important. And people like you who've been in my life for a long time, you know, that camaraderie we share, that support, and seeing people go after it, get after it, and win and lose, but still get up to fight another day. It influences me. It inspires me.
Yeah,
you know. So I'm grateful for the group we have, and that spirit that we carry every day.
A group of men. Yeah. Most people don't. I know I send you videos. I send them memes to him, and it be about different guys having a group of men that push.
And that's another thing I failed to mention. Flowers, which is a store I'm opening in Atlanta first, but it's a store that was built for men that is a third place away from home and work in a retail space. So we have a barbershop and a bakery in the same store as well. So
you can just...
It's that place for us to gather, you know, and you're going to end up buying stuff organically, but a place for us and built for us. So
I like that.
Yeah,
we need more spots. I've been on Jamil about curating something for people that's positive, that's fun, that's entertaining, and he has the resources and tools to do it, but we don't have a lot of things for people that are not being negative. We're not waking up talking about people and trying to pull somebody down. We're trying to help people go up. And as men, we need that. That's dope. Flowers in Atlanta. Yeah, what part of Atlanta?
It's in an area called South Downtown where it's being built. But, you know, like you said, I think it's important. I think particularly for men, particularly for black men as well, that, you know, we live a life that's centered around legacy, particularly as fathers, you know. Right. So I always tell people I don't want to just be a tombstone.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Nah.
I want to leave something when I'm gone. So every day I wake up with that thought in mind, you know.
That's dope. Where can they find you at?
My social media is Jamil Hardwick.
You got TikTok?
I don't.
Does Jamil need TikTok?
Yeah.
Leave that in the comments.
Yeah.
Because I think Jamil needs a TikTok.
We'll see. Yeah.
That TikTok is supposed to be popping right now.
It's supposed to be.
For music. You got music artists.
Hey, man. We'll see. Yeah.
So they can find you at Jamil Hardwick on IG. Any YouTube channels?
I don't. I'm thinking about doing one, though. You know, might be doing one with my brother Chris. So
yeah, we on there. We in there.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't done so, I always ask you, make sure you turn on your post notifications. That way, every time we post, you're notified and you get an opportunity to be a part of this community that we're building here on YouTube. We're trying to be organic. We want to give you our experiences so that you can learn from it. And you can share your experiences in the comment. And if you want an opportunity to be coached by me, you can go to justwin.com, just-win.com, and you can book your one-on-one sessions there, or you can go to justhooptraining.com, and I have my one-on-one sessions there to where I can mentor you, help you grow, and utilize the circle that we built of experiences of men to help you grow, male or female. And that's what we're doing. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Till our next episode, we out. Peace.